My name is Lucinda. Welcome to the Chakras class tonight. It'll be a channeled event. It's always channeled. It's not my opinion. It's what comes through. I got nervous about everything all of a sudden, and then I realized I don't have to be. So it's just one of those things I had to get over myself to get to myself once again. So here I am. All right. All right. So chakras are really beautiful in our bodies. They're these light energy wheels that go around in multiple directions. They're they're very they're momentum in itself. All right. And what they do is they connect to different places within our body in a physical way and also in an energetic way, which lends to our emotion, spiritual aspect, as well as our physical, mental aspect. So everything gets met within the definition of a formal definition of what the chakra system is. Like if you're practicing it in the Vedic practice. All right. This particular practice is an energetic practice of opening the chakra, understanding the chakra, and being able to work with the chakra directly. Okay, you'll be able to do it with yourself. You can do it with others, but understanding what the chakra is about is really what the class is about. Okay, and it's easier to connect that way when you're helping another individual, but it also gives you insight when you have interactions with others because it kind of tells you where they're coming from, depending on how they structure their sentences, where they're, just where they're coming from. You'll see where are you coming from. Okay. Thank goodness they got that done. All right, now I feel much better now that I know what I'm going to talk about. Ooh, Lord. Okay. Okay, so we'll start with like the Earth Seed. The Earth Seed is our connection to the electromagnetic field mostly. All right. It is a connection directly to the Earth, but the Earth is its own element, and we're components of everything in Earth as well. And so the electromagnetic field is what we really connect to in our energetic aspect. We're not powered by that though, but we can connect to that. Then there is the ambient energy that's around us. And that's the energy that gets used throughout the day for experiences. Somebody's going into a store and they're thinking about buying a dress, or maybe, and then doing this, and then walking out with the dress, and they're okay. But all those thoughts are energy, and so they get left behind. They're just there. And so nobody goes around clearing all of the thoughts. So when you find somebody who isn't clear and they're really in their mind, all right, a lot of times it's because they don't have a way to clear I want to say their etheric, okay? I don't even know why they took me up there because we were down in the earth. So confused right now. I'm really confused right now, so hold on. Oh, I know what I'll do. I won't be confused anymore. Okay, everybody put your feet on the ground. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm not sorry. Just put your feet on the ground. Okay. Okay, so usually when I start a class, we'll do like a little meditation, and I skipped right over that. And I don't want to do that. So we're going to do like a 3-minute connection meditation. So just focus on your breathing. Just allow yourself to draw your breath in through your nose. Let it suspend slightly. And then relax your shoulders. And you can let the breath out of your nose as well if that's comfortable for you. Take a breath in. Continue breathing. We invite all spirit energy to go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. All cosmic beings, thank you for your service and gift. Center in your heart. I invite you to feel gratitude for someone that you don't feel you could be where you're at today without. Extend that gratitude deeper into your heart. Nice deep breath in. All the rest. Transmute that energy into butterflies of unconditional love. Breathing and feel centered. You can open your eyes. I forgot that I was running all day. And I came in and I set up real quick. I did not set the room. My apologies. That's not what I normally do. I just skipped a few steps. Now I'm better. And I apologize again and again profusely. Forgive me. Anyway, I'm over it. Thank you so much for holding space. Okay. Next public service announcement. Gosh. All right. So, gosh, now I'm going to long talk with Solange. I love you, Solange. We're going to start again. All right. My name's Lucinda. Okay, better. My name's Lucinda, and tonight I'm going to talk about chakras. This isn't the formal version of the Vedic practice, but it is an interpreted version of a universal wisdom-driven experience. So that's how I'm going to present the chakras tonight. So the first chakra that I want to talk about is the etheric. Your etheric chakra. Did everybody get a pain in their heart? Everybody did, right? Nobody got like a little pressure in their heart? Isn't that wild? Did you get pressure in your heart at all? Like in this area, in your heart chakra? Did you feel any pressure? Did you feel any pressure? No? Did you feel any pressure? No? Okay, so I did in that moment. So I really think that we're going to lead with the heart chakra. I think that that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Okay. So that makes such sense now. All right. So we'll start with the heart chakra. So the heart chakra, every time it shows up for me, the way that it is, I want to say, envisioned, is that it looks like a yin yang symbol that has pink with a little green dot and green with a little pink dot. And at first I thought one was chasing the other. And then I saw that one was supporting the other. And it was just perpetual. And it was a really beautiful understanding of divine masculine and feminine in unconditional love aspects. And how you have an actionable masculine energy within your heart chakra. And we don't really think about that often. We don't really look at it. We think to ourselves that's our ooey gooey spiritual center, our emotions and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, it does have some of that, but it also has a brain. Okay? And because this particular heart chakra, right, has a brain, it's going to think for you. So it's giving you ideas about how to act, what to do, where to go, how to feel. All right. And it's also giving feedback to your cerebral brain. All right. So it can't get enough with just talking to you and giving you like emotions and stuff like that. It's got to go up here and talk some stuff up here too. Right. So it is an actionable sequence because it says, oh, hey, in a physical sense, it's like, okay, I beat, so we're going to pump the blood, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to electric this, and then we're going to have another sequence, and everything will be great. That would be like the scientific aspect of it, right? But think about the sequence of events that are taking place, the connectivity that's happening within your body in a very physical way. And that is the action of the masculine energy. Okay? And so it's a very physical aspect within your body. And keep in mind that that's kind of like what powers it as well, okay? Then you have the divine feminine aspect that's in there, and it comes up as almost a warrior, goddess, nurturing, unconditional love, divine, like, I want to say mother, but I don't think that's adequate for how that energy feels. It's a very spiritual energy, but it's also actionable. But it is a state of being energy, and it's a little bit different. So when you're moving from one to the other, you can definitely feel it. That's when we start to assign meanings to different experiences that we have, like love, the word love. We'll assign love to maybe only a romantic setting, and then we think that you can only feel it here, but you feel it in all of your body, all right? That love. So you feel it all over your body. The thing is that because you're getting the messaging from here to prompt you into action, all right? This is the design center of your love. Okay? So it's kind of cool. So you have Christ consciousness, humanity, humanitarian love, and passionate love, and then you have the nurturing, divine feminine, mother, holy mother aspect of the unconditional love. And they blend beautifully, and then they are sovereign beautifully. So it's just a really nice polarity within the heart center. Now your heart center is what, this makes so much sense that we start here. So your heart center allows the connection between your lower chakras that are considered masculine, all right, and your upper chakras that are considered feminine. Now, I want to really investigate those two words so that we're very clear on how I'm using them. So first, for me, when we're speaking of metaphysical feminine and masculine, there's no gender. There's no gender whatsoever. One behaves in an actionable sequence, the other behaves in a belief sequence. And it's just, one's more spiritual appearance, one is more get her done appearance, and that's all it really is. So when you're looking at the divine masculine, because we all have it, we all have both. That's our balance. And when we're taking action from our heart, then we're more in our masculine aspect of our heart. When we're in contemplation and we're in our heart, we're more in our feminine of our heart, because that is the contemplative energy. That's it. So when you connect upward, you're going to naturally have a higher vibration or a faster vibration. That would be a more accurate statement, because it isn't so much a lower bad energy. It's just a slower moving vibration. It's just denser. That's it. Just has a little bit more wave to move through. Because it's all light and frequency. All right. So how many people have lower back problems? Okay. Okay. So if you have soreness in your back, you wake up some stiffness in your back, a lot of times it's because of fear. So fear, all right, is perpetuated in a story. The story is perpetuated from your sacral that prompts you into action in your solar plexus, and then you think about how you feel, you take the action, it's either expression or expression. It's something, right? So everything that we do is affected by our energy centers. So when you move down into the solar plex is all about action and what are you going to do? People have an association. The way that spirits taught me or universe taught me is that you have your own divine connection to your power. You do have ego. Your ego, it would behoove you, is how it was told to me. It would behoove you were you to consider your ego your friend rather than your enemy. And I asked a question. I asked why. Because I was hearing everybody around me say things like, oh, you have to divorce your ego. You have to get rid of your ego. You can't have your ego. Die to your ego. Your ego must die. Kill your ego. And it's all very murderous, right? And I was like, wow, this is so incredibly, I don't understand because I have a different concept of what ego is, right? And so when I had this conversation with universal wisdom, it came down that that's perfectly fine the way that it's put out there, but in actuality, if I'm doing something, this is how it presents to me, is that your ego is your indicator. It tells you how you're behaving. And you better make friends with it because you want to be on its good side. So that way, while you behave, right? So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It doesn't help me, but I mean, that's just like what I got down, right? So it was a very interesting understanding of how this is simply action and we assign it behavior, okay? Mm-hmm. But action and behavior are almost combined, right? But behavior is a belief. That's the prompt, right? Right? That was good, huh? I like that one. Okay. I'm going to have to jot a note. No, I'm not jotting any notes tonight. Okay. So with the going into the solar plexus, the easiest way to stay in a balanced aspect of who you are is that 50-50 rule. 50-50 is like for you and then maybe for others, right? And it doesn't have to be 50-50, but you need to really like look to visit like whatever it is comfortable for you. Because when you can do that, the reciprocation of the energy starts to expand your solar plexus to where the actions that you take become broader and more meaningful because you have a focus. You know what you're doing. Now you're accountable. Now you're showing up rather than just, oh my goodness, this is happening. Okay? And that's how you can clear your ego self is by acknowledgement, love. Love is a big one for the ego. It really is. And my ego's been with me all my life, and it is the one that has prompted me to take every action. And I'm so grateful right now for where I sit because of that very prompt, because otherwise it wouldn't have happened. So when you go into gratitude and you look to see all the things that are brought forward, all of the action, right? And you get grateful and you feed gratitude to that, and you're ready for more action. Anything could come, and it'd be great. So that's how you feed the ego. All right, good way, huh? All right, so now let's go down. There's a soul dantian here that I want to talk about. We're just going to briefly touch on it, and it's like this. It's a chi energy. It's a chi energy center, however you want to say it. They tell me, they laugh at me when I say it too many different ways, so I just try not to. Anyway, the dantian that's there is I don't know if you've ever seen the picture that has like an individual and it shows how chi flows in the body to where it goes like this up and out the head and around, and then it comes like this on both sides. There's a divine masculine and a divine feminine energy to it, okay? And so it does this and it constantly transmutes, and that is what is in the middle of here for us. And it's like our connection to everything, to all that is. And it's such a trip So I call it the soul dantian. That's what I call it. And it's like, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Um, it's like where it's the contemplation between the story and the action. That's what it is. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's the contemplation, the spiritual contemplation. You're creating a belief around like where how you think you're gonna do it, what kind of action you might take. Yeah, that's what that. It just is like. It's awesome to really sit with and meditate with, because you can go into a meditation. A suggested meditation would just be like a slow 10 count down, and then I would investigate one of the chakras. And how I would do it is I would maybe start with a color. Color would be easier instead of calling it by name, or you could call it by sacral, or you could say, hey, I need to talk to who's writing the story. That's your sacral. Okay. And so just things like that. But you can go in and you can do those chakra meditations, and you can clear them because they want to communicate with you. They want to tell you what's going on in your body. They really do. And just that connection to your chakras in that way will make it easier for you. It slows everything down because you become more understanding about the space you are. Okay? And we don't take that into consideration a lot of the time. And we need to become very space aware of who we are, because we have a lot of energy. We're bigger beings than what is in appearance for our physical self. So just becoming aware of that is how we're becoming kinder to one another. We're keeping our energy fields not in other people's laps and stuff like that. So the chakras, when they're clear, can tell you if maybe you don't want to spend too much time with this individual because you'll have an awareness, because your chakra will be clear. You've been working on it. So it's really good. Okay, so we're down to the storyteller. This is like the sacred storyteller, the sacral. And it's the reproductive aspect of the divine feminine. All right. And the root is the reproductive aspect of the divine masculine in this aspect. It's not always like that, but in this aspect, it's like that. So in the sacral is where you find your self-esteem. It's where you create. Think about that. Like all of your creation stuff is there's a creation. All right. So it's how you create the story of you. So if you have like stomach problems, right, then it's probably because of the story you're telling yourself about yourself. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Distressing, isn't it? No. We don't understand that we are the story we digest. We say 60 to 80,000 words every day. What story are you telling yourself? Every day. That just blows, it's mind-boggling for me. And that's why I keep repeating it. It's just mind-boggling. So, okay, so now we're down to the sacral. So what kind of story would you like to tell? Now, first you have to come into recognition of the story you don't want to tell. Right? Because if you're good with the story you're telling, but you're not happy with what you're getting, then there's a disconnect right there. I just want to let you know that. You're not walking your talk. Mm-hmm. And you can walk your talk, and you can actually walk your talk in an enjoyable way. You might take a little accountability, but we all could use accountability. Myself, probably a lot. I'm good. I have a lot. So when you're down in the sacral area, let's say you're meditating for it, and what you want to know is you want to know how you can best support your creative side, right? So you would go in and you would just say, okay, so how best can I support my creative artistry, my efforts, and things like that? Well, what if you're like that's not me. I'm not crafty. I don't do anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Then most of your creation is done here and it feels like thought. Just saying. All creation is done. I don't know how to say all in a different way. Omnipotent. Omnipotent. All right? Yes. Pardon me. All right. So now you have a good broad stroke of like what your sacral shape, your sacral chakra can support you with. So what kind of stories that I'm talking about telling? We sometimes when we have that fear that I was telling you about in your back, right? That little bit of fear. Any pain that you have in your body is a stored emotion. Any pain that you have in your body is a stored emotion. If you hold your finger on that long enough until the pain starts to dissipate and you tune into it, you say, what do I need to know about this? You might have a release. It might just be like a little weepy moment. You might have insight, you get a vision, but that's, you can release pain in your body easily like that all day long, okay? And that's because you're learning how to tune into the energy centers of your body, okay? So that's why it's important. Let's say you want to tell a better story, right? Let's say you're living homeless on the street and your lean-to's like not ready to get set up because somebody else uses your boards and all that shit isn't right, and you're really mad. Oh, life is just really awful. You only got half a cigarette and the butt's wet. Just, it's kind of miserable. But, you look around and you say, hey, life's not so bad because you have more than you had yesterday, right? Okay. But now you get all good and stuff, and then you get into a situation where you're ready to move forward and you can't because it's too abundant. All right. So how would you, right? So how would you be able to connect that, right? You have to go into your story and change your story, right? So now that's going to affect my self-worth. It's going to affect my self-esteem. It's going to affect how I act. It's going to affect how I talk, how I think. This is like so amazing. How powerful is that? That is so powerful. Hey, anytime you want to activate your sacral chakra, wear some orange. Just wear some orange. Wear a little orange. So you go, oh, orange. Yep. And just think, do it, baby. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Because this is like your creative juices flowing. It's, this is where you do like your hip rolls and stuff like that because you're getting the action down there. You're moving and everything. And this is part divine masculine as well. So, you want to make sure that you're servicing every bit of you. If you're female, male, doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're telling a really beautiful story of your experience here, right? Don't you? Because I'm telling the best story possible every freaking day. Because for me, if I don't, I don't have a reason to be here doing this. This would be dumb. Like, I tell you, like, oh, well, so chicken save did this, and like that's not really going to fly very well, right? No. Okay, so now we're done with the sacral. That's the humorous aspect that we should add in. Anyway, then we'll go down into the root. So the root is, I love the word Muladhara. Isn't that a beautiful word? It's just so beautiful. So that's the root chakra, and that's how you say it, okay? But the way that it sounds so inviting and vivacious, ready, and just like, okay. And it's all about connection to community, how you view yourself in community, how you view yourself in community. That's what it's about. And how you can interact from that view. Because this is where your parasympathetic is, right? This is where we all go into those, I'm out of here, what do you mean, moments. So this is the only reason that it like gets jarred is because a community member wants to approach you. Right? Just anybody in the world. It doesn't matter. It's just in that moment, we're so trained to be like, we'll startle. And there's no reason for us to. We should be very comfortable in our skin, in our surroundings, in everything. And we lend reason for it. But usually it's something that we haven't worked through as far as our ability to connect, all right, to others. I'm going to take 2 minutes so I can have some water, and I'll come right back. Thank you. I'm going to go. Oh, that's right. We left off with community. That's why. Okay. I remember it well. So anytime that you want to start paying attention to a particular chakra, right? Wear the color. Just wear the color. Say, oh, we're all tuned in to Mudra today. And what that does is that see the energy that comes. Do you sense energy? Yes? Sometimes? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise after this. Do you sense energy? Yes? Okay, great. And then that way I'll give you guys something after. Okay. Pardon me. All right. So now that we're at the root chakra, all right, that is sometimes where people will end like the 7 major chakras. Pardon me. But it isn't really, it's not really major chakras, it's just most well known. That's probably a better way to say it. Because those same 7 are all represented in your hands and feet, and then there's just like replications, and then there's just we have hundreds of chakras. Yeah. And lots of dantians because we have a lot of different energy points. We send our energy out to investigate, and so something has to power it. So pretty sure these aren't going. Yeah. I think, we're just stretching ourselves like this. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think a chakra is actually leaving. I just think that we have chakra nuclei in our energy field somewhere. I'll just say it like that, so that way nobody takes offense. It's just like how I see how connected the energy is. It's very connected. Okay, so from here, what I normally do is I just go down to the earth seed, but today what I'm going to do is we're going to go over a couple of dantians so that we have, because these are also chakras, but they're in the hips. So in the hips, it looks like a yellow field, all right? And it's on the outside right here. And it is like it's a meridian color. I don't know which color it is. It might be earth. I don't know if yellow is earth. I'll have to think about it. Anyway, so that would make sense. Anyway, so there's like at almost every joint, they show me one of the little meridian dantians, okay? And then like I have photographs and stuff, but everything moves like this. It doesn't stay in one place, it never has. So when the little meridian hubs are here, they also have like more little energy centers. So like when you bend and stuff like that, that's why when this gets stiff, it's because you haven't woken up the energy that's there. So you just wake up the energy and then you start using it again. That's it. You just, hello, like that, you can. So, because we don't take into consideration that our energy needs revitalization. It does. You need to keep it clear. You need to give it direction. You're utilizing it, so utilize it with purpose, right? If you're in an ambient state for the rest of your life, that doesn't count as a state of being. But that is a pretty good comedy run. Okay. All right. So you have the ones at the hips, the knees. The knees feel like what I learned when I was doing the healings was that the knees feel like the hubs that start the whole the whole system, all right? And that's what used to happen. So I would start there and I'd watch it go through, like each person come back up and over the top of the toes, up into the knee again, and then start with the next element. So something that isn't listed on the paper that you can do is that, like, while you're sitting and maybe you're tuning into like your chakras, all right, you can take your hands and we'll make a little chi ball right now, just a little one until you feel resistance. I'm sure you've done this before, and if you haven't, this is fun. And as soon as you feel resistance, don't put your hands all the way together, but as soon as you feel resistance, stop right there and then go out a little bit and bring more chi in and make it more compact, so that way the resistance becomes pretty substantial to where you cannot. Okay, put your hands together, no matter how hard you try. Keep making that resistance harder and harder. Now you feel how it's pushing back on your hands right now? All right. So now you've successfully made a chi ball. That's a real chi ball, okay? All right. This particular chi ball, let's say you're working on, okay, so if you had to, I haven't gone over all of them, so this is really kind of challenging. So the throat chakra kind of speaks for itself. And then the brow chakra, because we're going to go over the audience chakra too, but like the brow chakra would be like ajna, and that would be like, that's your psyche, and so it's how you view things. Keep that in mind, okay? That's what your psychic sense is how you view things. And up above in the crown is like where you store your beliefs. Yeah. It's like the liaison between the etheric connection. So your belief is what gets you connected. So that's pretty much it right there. So if you've been struggling with your beliefs, you would use the ball in the amethyst chamber. That's all they're saying to me, but it's the crown, okay? That's what I'm laughing. Okay, if you're having difficulty seeing things as they are, then you would put it in your psyche, in your brow, all right, your brow chakra. If you don't feel heard or you have difficulty expressing yourself verbally, then you put it in your throat chakra. If you're either emotionally unavailable or emotionally vulnerable, you put the chi ball in your heart center. If you're having difficulty deciding what action to take, solar plexus. If you're trying to write a brand new story, put that damn thing right there in that sacral area. If you're having trouble connecting, you know, with other humans, then definitely put it in the root. Okay? So everybody get back to your chi ball. All right. Wait until you feel that resistance. Closing your eyes might help. Really allowing the energy to fill the space between your hands. Think about which chakra will benefit the greatest. And keep in mind that whichever one you choose, that's the right one, and the rest will come into alignment. Okay? That's the beauty of this ball. Just the one you think needs a little extra oomph. When you're ready, go ahead and hold it in the palms of your hands and then just put it into the chakra that you think you need it in the most. Good, huh? Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So anytime you would like to do that, you can feel rejuvenated because right now you can feel all kinds of energy sensors in your body realigning stuff. Everything is. And it's because you gave it direction, you had an intention, you followed through. You allowed yourself to get just a little bit beyond that vulnerability. All right? Thank you for doing that for you. All right? Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to work our way down again. Okay, so we're at the knees. Yeah, because I want to go up, and they're like, what about the earth? All right. So then at the ankles, there's another dantian. So something that as you are less active, okay, your ankle joints have a tendency to really store an awful lot of energy, deposited energy right there. And so if you could stand on your tiptoes once in a while, okay, it doesn't sound very fun, but yeah, if you stand up on your tiptoes once in a while, it'll start to loosen up all the energy that's stored in your feet, okay? So your feet do a lot of natural grounding when you walk, and you're walking on the biggest crystal, okay? So the idea is that every time you place your foot down, the electromagnetic frequency is just saying, dip, 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 and so you're also retrieving a reciprocal sort of a current. Okay, so that's what the resonance is that everybody talks about. Okay, so your receiving frequency and your delivering frequency, and that's what makes that beautiful melody that we all hear. When you have that distortion going on, that's because you have a clog right here. Okay, and then the next thing is that your knees, if your knees start to get tired or anything like that, check your T-bands right here. There's these muscles that like they bend around like this. But if you rub these out, then that'll help as well. But now that you have an understanding of your chakras, right? Here's the better part of it. Okay, you can balance and harmonize any of your chakras using your heart chakra. Okay. So we're going to go up to the throat chakra now. No, we're down, 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 damn it. Okay, so we're going to go down to the earth chakra. Okay? And that's the earth seed. That's our connection. That one is probably about 1.5 feet below our feet. And then coming up, because we've done the rest, would be the throat chakra, the Shuddhi. Now, this, a lot of times, it's left open because we think it's only verbal communication. All right? It's only out loud that you're hearing, okay? And that isn't it. We listen to ourselves all day long. So this is in charge of all those words. All those words come from here. Every bit of them. All right? Getting all choked up? Okay, so here's the deal, right? So if you want people to be real with you, you have to be real with you. Like just with you. All right? Because then people will be real with you. They can only be what you allow them to be. And they can only be what you present yourself or are. Yeah? So most honorable, authentic, genuine, kind communication. That's what you want to aim for. Okay? So if there's better ways you can say something to somebody, really take note of it. Then that way if that compromise comes up again, you'll have something ready, right? If there's some, because we all have that moment, right? And I usually take that moment and I throw myself on the floor. Here we are. I'm so done. I'm sorry, blah, whatever. But I do that because otherwise my throat will get clogged because I talk a lot anyway. Okay, so these are your audience chakras. What I want everybody to do is take these two fingers and put them just above your eyebrows, okay? Very gently, very gently. And you're going to begin to feel a pull, a tug coming out, all right? And what we're doing is, my intention is that we are removing old beliefs, memories, and thought processes and stored sound bites from this area that no longer serve the individual that you would like to be. So we're just going to allow all those things to accumulate. It feels weird, huh? Okay, now everybody together, just do this. Just grab a whole handful and then put it into a little container right there. Okay. Heck yeah. Get all old thinking out there. There you go. Feels different, right? A little lightheaded. Okay, so here I'm just gonna go ahead. Yep, but that's why.
Oh yeah.
That's why. Good, right? Okay. So now we're in the brow chakra. This is ajna. And the seer of everything. Think about that, right? Seer of everything. So this is how you connect to your psyche. That's where the word psychic comes from. It's also where the word psychologist and psychiatrist come from. So psyche, let me tell you where psyche comes from. All right? So Psyche is one of the three daughters of God and matter. That's who Psyche is. And I think it's love and fate, or I don't think it's the fates. I think it's the daughters. Okay, so it's matter and God got together, and that's how they had Psyche. And then Psyche is our thought process, our consciousness. It's how we dip into different ideation pools through intention, because we do that often. And it's through our view that our belief is created. And so it's what you think and what you see. That's your belief. You'll feel the belief because it will be impactful, all right, if you can show up to the belief, all right. If you can't show up to the belief, they're all born right here. There's beliefs that are born here, but most of them come from here. That's why it's easy for us to just jump up here and solve the world's problems, okay? Because as we see it, if I were king for a day, Pinky and the bear, Pinky and the brain, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so the idea is to understand that the vastness, like you could get into existential thought processes to where you can really go out there into the universe and see yourself among the stars and really just do a deep meditation to see how minute the frequency is of you comparatively to all it is, right? And then bring that information back and act accordingly, right? That's what we could do. We don't necessarily do that. I don't. I know I don't. Look at me. It's not off already. All right, now. Okay. So then you have the crown. A lot of work to do, huh? Not Mother Teresa yet. I'm all right. Okay. So the crown chakra is about your belief systems. It's everything rising, like cream rising to the top. All right. So your belief systems change. That's why we can feel here. All right. Because we can feel about our beliefs here. We don't know that's what we do, but we do. When we want to have a visceral experience of emotional feeling, we can bring that same feeling from that belief system down into our heart with a little bit of gratitude. And you can feel the whole thing. You feel everything you believe. And when you do that, you can really connect to all that is, because you're a very accepting individual. And we don't understand that about ourselves because a lot of times we live in fear. So the crown chakra is a lot about acceptance, perseverance, and it's about connection to self and connection to all that is. And so it's just like, it's a really beautiful chakra. So I like that one. The etheric one is a connection from source to us. So that's like your silver cord one. So it's really good. Okay. Any questions? No? Good? All right. Well, this concludes our phosphorus evening. Thank you so much for attending. All top problem.